Hello everyone, I'm Jenny, your IELTS teacher. In this video, I'll be sharing a sample answer that I have prepared for this topic. Describe an expensive activity that you enjoy doing occasionally. Actually, this was requested by my viewer or my subscriber. I think she came from Vietnam and her name is Hoi Cook. Thank you so much for suggesting. And her suggestion is that I'll make a topic or prepare a video for this topic, an expensive activity. So here it is. For my other viewers and subscribers, thank you so much for watching my video, especially for those who are living in India, Pakistan, Bangladesh, and other Asian countries. I really appreciate your time watching my videos. So let us begin. The topic is describe an activity that you enjoy doing occasionally. For those who are going to take the IELTS speaking exam for the first time, or for those who are going to retake the exam, these are the important points to remember in part 2. You only have 1 minute to prepare for the topic. So basically, you need to think and decide fast. You don't want to waste your time thinking, oh, what should I talk about? Should I talk about this or that? No, that is a wrong move. Also, focus on fluency. Of course, it's of utmost importance. That's the most important thing in IELTS speaking. You need to avoid being off topic or going off topic. Avoid silence, long pause, and hesitations. Because if you do these things, it means your English level is poor, it's not good, you're having a hard time expressing yourself in English. So that is something that you don't want to do when you take the IELTS exam. You need to convince the IELTS examiner that you're good in English. And of course, you need to speak in a comfortable way for you to do that, for you to prove that your English level is good. And finally, don't forget to use idioms and collocations. And when you use them, try to use them correctly. If you have been watching my videos, I'm sure that you noticed that I'm always emphasizing this. Idioms are very helpful in increasing your score because this is one of the technical requirements set by the IELTS organization. So try to use idioms and try to use them in a correct way, as well as collocations, okay? So now let us continue. This is the complete topic. Describe an activity that you enjoy doing occasionally. You should say what it is, who you do it with, why is it expensive, and how you feel about it. Okay, so some students are asking me if it's really necessary to talk about all of the points on the task card. So these are the bullet points, right? My answer is no. You don't lose or you will not lose any marks for missing some of the bullet points on the task card. There is no rule in the IELTS examination, especially in speaking, that you have to answer all these bullet points. However, I still do advise that try to cover each point. Okay? And what are my reasons? First of all, it helps you to structure your description, to structure your answer. They also help you to move forward rather than getting stuck on one idea, right? So try to answer all of these tasks or all of these bullet points. The points are actually prompts or suggestions. They remind you on what to say next. So it is much better to answer all of them. Although you won't lose any points, well, it's much better to, not to miss any answer, any questions here, right? So now let us continue. I'm going to read the sample answer. Please do some shadowing. Okay. Let us begin. Okay. There's a bunch of expensive activities that I love doing, but the one that really stands out would be traveling. My family and I are travel buffs, so we always get itchy feet every time there's a long holiday. I think we travel abroad at least twice or thrice a year. If my memory serves me right, I started traveling when I graduated from my university and I had my own job. I went to the US and it was such a wonderful experience. I remember my friends and I went to New York and I visited a lot of tourist attractions there, such as the Statue of Liberty and the Central Park. I'm sure everybody will agree with me that traveling is indeed an expensive activity, and there are many reasons why. First off, plane tickets can cost an arm and a leg. That is why, in my case, I try to purchase plane tickets in advance so that I can get it at a much cheaper price. It's even more expensive when you're traveling with your family. Aside from that, foreign food can be costly. As you may know, foreign dishes can be pricey sometimes. Especially in my case, I'm quite adventurous in terms of food and I love trying new cuisines. Finally, hotels are so expensive, and that is why I try to go on a group tour because I can save money. Instead of traveling on my own, I explore the places abroad. I travel with a group. Although traveling in general costs a lot of money, I think it's all worth it because I always have a blast every time I visit other places. And I guess that's all I can say. Thanks for listening. Okay? So try to make a good introduction and try to finish your answer as well. Logically, you begin your answer well, you should also end it well. So try to say this. I guess that's all I can say. Thanks for listening. You're just giving the IELTS examiner a signal that you are done answering part 2, right? Now let us continue. So let's take a look at the band 7 to 9 expressions. So there's a bunch of expensive activities. Instead of saying there are many, there are a lot of, try to say instead there's a bunch of. All right? The one that really stands out. If it stands out, it means it's something or it's someone that is really special, something that's worth noticing. Okay? Now, the next one is my family and I are travel buffs. So, this is a good expression. If you are a travel buff, meaning you like traveling. Okay? You're a person who's into traveling. Next one is, so we always get itchy feet. Itchy feet is an idiom which means a desire to travel. Okay? So, I don't have itchy feet because I don't like traveling. I have an itch of it, meaning you have this intense desire, you have great interest in traveling. Next one, if my memory serves me right, as I've mentioned in my previous video, every time you're talking about the past, even if you clearly remember the details, try to say this expression. After all, the examiner will not verify. They will not check. They won't ask you, are you sure that you can't really remember it? No, they won't do that, right? Tourist attractions, I think I don't need to explain this to you. This is a very simple and common phrase. Plane tickets can cost an arm and a leg. This is an idiomatic expression. If it costs an arm and a leg, meaning it's very expensive. Okay? Example, my bags cost an arm and a leg because I bought them in Paris. Alright? Houses nowadays cost an arm and a leg. That's why people just prefer to rent. Alright? So this is another idiomatic expression. Aside from that, instead of saying also, which is a very common connective, try to use this instead. I always have a blast. So have a blast is another idiomatic expression which simply means have fun. Okay? For example, when your friend tells you, Jenny, I'm sorry, I can't hang out with you because I have to attend a party later. Oh, it's alright, have a blast. So it means have fun. Okay? So I hope you will use all these expressions, some of them, and try to incorporate idioms. As I've mentioned a while ago, idioms are very important. Okay? Now let us continue. Let's move on to part 3. In part 3, there are things that you need to remember or you need to follow. You have to answer the questions immediately. So remember that. Try to give at least 4 sentences. Avoid giving 1 or 2 sentences only. Okay? It's not good. That's a no-no. How to give a long sentence or how to give a long answer. Provide details such as examples, explanations, reasons. It all depends on the question that you're getting. Okay? Also, you don't need to agree with the question. You know, for example, I have a student, she asked me, Jenny, is it okay if I say no? And I answered yes, definitely. There's no right or wrong answer. You can always disagree. Example, what's the difference between women and men in buying things? You don't need to say, well, I guess there are some differences. I think that no. You don't need to do that. You can say, well, I think that there's no difference at all when both genders buy things, right? So you can definitely disagree with the question. Last but not least, speak fluently and comfortably. It's very important. Okay? Now let's move on to part 3. The first question. Please do some shadowing. Read with me. What kind of expensive things do people like to buy? Well, I think it depends from person to person. Some people enjoy buying expensive bags, clothes, or shoes. I guess it's more common among women who love designer labels such as Gucci or Louis Vuitton. On the other hand, some people like to buy expensive mobile phones. They are keen on buying the latest phone model, so I think it really varies. So when you try to answer part 3, try to give at least 2 to 3 ideas. Why? Because you need to speak longer, right? If you'll only give one idea, that's still okay, but you have to make sure that you expound on that one idea. Meaning, you try to elaborate, okay? Let's continue with the next question. What's the difference between women and men in buying things? Well, I believe that women are more keen on buying fashionable items like trendy clothes, bags, or shoes. Men, on the other hand, are not really into shopping. I guess they just want to have some fast computers or smartphones so that they can play games or watch movies. I noticed that they are more interested on high-tech gadgets or electronic products. And that is true, right? So, well, you don't need to agree with this, but I'm just giving you ideas. And since one of the most common issue of students who are taking the IELTS exam is that they don't have enough ideas, they lack ideas. So that's why I made my videos for you to give ideas, okay? You can follow them, you can copy the ideas and some of the words, of course. Let's move on. What are the advantages and the disadvantages about being rich? Well, with regard to the positive aspects, I believe that being wealthy brings a lot of benefits, and it's mainly because they can do many things. They can buy many things, they can travel anytime they want, since they have money to buy plane tickets. I think they also have freedom, since they can have a lot of opportunities. In terms of the drawbacks, I believe that it can be dangerous sometimes to be rich because people might target them. What I mean by that is people will steal money or do evil things to them. I guess those are the pros and cons of being wealthy. Try to use some linking phrases such as with regard to, in terms of, okay, when it comes to. So linking phrases are very helpful in organizing your ideas, okay? If you want to give more details to your previous sentence, you can use this expression. What I mean by that is, try to do some paraphrasing. Instead of saying advantages, you can say positive aspects. Instead of saying disadvantages, you can say drawbacks. Paraphrase. Why? You need to impress the examiner. You need to let them think that your vocabulary is wide. Okay? Let us continue to the last question. Why are some sports expensive? Are they for everyone? Please read with me. Well, I guess that some sports are costly because they have to buy expensive sports gear or they have to do their sports in a difficult or uncommon place. For instance, figure skaters, they have to buy durable rollerblades. Otherwise, they'll get into an accident or they'll have injuries if their rollerblades are unreliable. I think it's not for everyone since some people are not sporty at all. They don't like sports at all. Okay, and it makes sense. Not all people don't like sports. Okay, not all people are interested in sports. Okay, so anyways, that would be all. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing. And if you have any suggestion, please feel free to comment below. Thank you. Again, this is Jenny. Bye.